upgraded the evaporators. Number 2 is online.
My name is Gilbert Cruz. I'm a wastewater operator at Clark County Water Reclamation District, and I've worked for Water Reclamation District for 11 years, and I've been an operator for 5 years.
So the first thing that we do when we come in is I'm assigned to secondary section right now, and so I have to look over my screens, look at all the equipment. This is our SCADA program, and SCADA helps us monitor the plant. There's multiple screens for each area of our plant, which is broken down into 4 areas, and we'll kind of go through the areas, and I'll show you what I do in each of those areas.
Today we followed the path of flow through my plant from where our Influent enters and through the different processes that our path takes us through, all the way to discharge and solids getting to our solids dewatering building for processing. So we have 2 84-inch Influent lines that once it converges here, but these lines go all the way down Flamingo. So this is where it comes in for us. Once we get here, I'm calling it Influent now. It's no longer sewage. We always refer to it as Influent. Wastewater and Influent are the words that we use. This is all pipes underneath here. This is all pipes. All sewer lines are underneath this is what you're seeing. And one of the first things that it kind of meets in here is our Flamingo odor control. In order for it to not smell, we got to treat it. We got to do something. So you can either run it through carbon or you can run it through our biofilters, which we do both in different areas. That's what we have. And so as this air is going through it, this odorous air, foul air is going through it, the microorganisms in our biofilters are eating what they can out of it. It becomes its own little ecosystem, and what results is that air has no odor when it comes out. So right, no odor. You know, right? It doesn't smell.
Right.
But if we pop that line before it got to there, yee. You know, yee.
Yeah.
The line comes in, and it goes through one of our 4 gates. And these gates are racks, and what they do is they sit down there, the flow's going through them, and any trash or debris that goes through it should get stuck on the gate, and then periodically on a timer it pulls it up and then dumps all the trash out. We try to take out as much as we can.
Most of the time, 99% of the time, it's rags, it's sticks, beer can, you know, it's that stuff. And we want to get rid of that.
All of these are considered part of the treatment process. Like, we are already considering that this is the first treatment that it gets. We are treating the water right here by raking out the garbage. So yeah, right, everything's got a hard part to do. Everything's got a hard thing you got to do. You don't want to do it, but that's what you're here for. So yeah, there are times where we got to put on our mud boots, our rain boots, and go in there, and a process has not gone the way we thought it was going to go, and there's cleanup to be done. So all this technology we have still doesn't work a shovel. So when a shovel needs to be used, we have to do those kinds of things. These are our primary clarifiers. It's an interesting process. It's such an amazing thing to see, especially from when we go back and we walk from the front and then we walk back to the end and see what's discharged.
It's a circle and a chemical process that happens, and it happens naturally, and it turns waste into bugs. Bacteria reproduces so quickly. By the time it gets here, we don't say that there's a ton of waste in the water. We want bugs to take as much out of it as it can and create more bugs. The more bugs, the better.
You're smelling the influent a little bit. You're also smelling nitrogen that's being released in the air because the system is releasing the nitrogen in the air. It does have an earthy smell. It's not like a raw sewage smell. It is an earthy smell. And you're right, we do get used to it. I don't even smell it anymore.
my area is right here. So we have primary clarifiers and secondary clarifiers. They do the same thing, but the Influent is different by the time it gets to me. By the time it gets to the secondary clarifier, it's not the same as the primary. This is not the first place that this Influent was introduced to us. Our primary clarifiers take the first, when Influent first comes here. After the Influent goes through our basins, it'll come here to the secondaries, and so there's less solids. There's usually only suspended solids left, and that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get the suspended solids out of the water.
As Influent goes through our plant, the water gets cleaner and cleaner and cleaner as we go. There's not one area that does it all.
The technology that we use here, people just don't expect it. You don't expect to see it in our field, but it's the only way it works. It's constantly evolving, it's constantly changing, it's constantly getting better. I do find it hard sometimes to explain what it is that I do every day. It's hard to explain how you monitor equipment. It's hard to explain what the process is here without actually having hands-on and seeing what we do. We're very technical here. We have some of the greatest equipment that's out there to use. It takes somebody who has attention to detail, who understands math and science and understands that that's part of our daily job. So we came into the tertiary area, and right here is our filters. It's one of the first places that it enters. And then we send it comes from our filter systems here, and then it moves into our UV disinfection building.
So this water flows through to get into the system. It comes through these two big gates on the outside, comes through a channel in front here, and then I have 6 gates that allow access to 6 UV channels. You're going to see the length of these bulbs that are on here, these lamps that are on here. What are these, like 6 foot, 7 foot long? Right, so we're going to pull this up. $44 lamps on each one, on each bank. Extremely expensive, extremely fragile. The length of these, the bulbs, everything about this is it's state of the art right now. Like, there isn't a better UV system. So it's very interesting how it works, and just the science behind it is just awesome. But basically, that's what a system looks like.
Look how clear this water is. I mean, look how clear that is. From what comes in the plant to what we discharge, this is amazing. It's all science, and it's amazing how clear and how clean we can get the water. We don't discharge drinking water, but it's the water that our reuse water is good enough for cooling systems like at Nevada Energy, and the landscapes around golf courses and local communities. They can use it for that at a reduced cost, so it saves them money.
All the solids that have been removed throughout the process as we've been doing this today, we take all those solids and we send them to our solids building. This is our solids dewatering building. And this is our last opportunity to remove solids from water.
So this is combined solids and water. I'm trying to make this just solids, and I'm trying to make this just water. I mean, to see what we're capable of doing with one process.
process, we can go from this to this to this. And then we send this back to get treated again, so we can get whatever else is left out of there. It's an amazing process. From here, any solids that are generated, when that cake's generated, when it's held in bins, there's 4 massive bins in this building, and then it's discharged to Republic Services trucks that come throughout the day while we're open, and we load them and they take that over to the landfill. And they take 42,000 pounds at a time. This is truly where it discharges. So just up a couple of 100 meters away is where it enters the Las Vegas channel that takes it into the wash, that takes it into Lake Mead. There's a couple stops along the way, but ultimately that's its final destination. Our water's clean. It's amazing. You can look down to the bottom of it, you know. You can see the bottom of our channels. We have animals living in it. They're doing well. There's a little bit of pride in that, and all of us of accomplishing this task every day, knowing that we're helping the environment, we're helping our community. Even though it is my job to do that, I find being here is fulfilling. It's a fulfilling job to know that you're part of something bigger. Helping the environment that we live in it's a great feeling to have.